Whether it's intentional or not, you going silent or ignoring a narcissist can lead to some pretty wild responses from them. This video dives into some ways that a narc might react when you decide that you are going to be silent. Now, your silence could be you choosing to be done and go no contact. You might just be really angry at the situation and decide that you are going to give the narcissist a silent treatment. Maybe you're exhausted from dealing with this person and you've decided to give yourself a break. Perhaps none of these things are happening, but this delusional narcissist that you're dealing with is upset that you're maybe working and not texting back fast enough for them, or you're not answering the phone because you're driving somewhere and you're just living your life in the moment and doing something else. Silence is one of the worst things that you can do to a narcissist. Again, whether you mean to or not. A narcissist relies on people for their emotional supply and emotional regulation. So let's get into what they do. Number one, they triangulate you. The narcissist might try to involve or pull in a third party. And this is done if the narcissist is sniffing around trying to get information about you. They text your kids, your family, friends, whatever. Other people can also be pulled in and triangulated to cause drama. And this is where the narcissist pulls in another person and tells them a very warped, very distorted version of what happened, possibly making you look bad. The narcissist will say something to this person along the lines of, "I've been so good to them. Why are they doing this to me? Why aren't they talking to me? What's going on?" And this can lead to the third party beginning to see you differently and creating confusion. It also controls the narrative. It creates tension between you and this other person who might now be angry that they've been pulled into your problems with a narcissist. Number two, they love bomb you. You may suddenly be showered with attention, affection, praise, things like that. If the narcissist thinks that you're trying to call it quits or you seem disinterested, you're pulling away, they might even spare no expense and do something really wild, like buy you an extravagant gift or plan a trip somewhere, maybe even propose as they try to sweep the issues under the rug and start fresh again. Love bombing can absolutely sway a person into staying around the narcissist longer. However, none of the issues that you two have will be discussed or worked through. And if the issues are never resolved, they just pop up again and again. And if a person chooses to stay, they will also see that this love bombing is quite temporary. Number three, they rage out. It can be common for a narcissist to respond angrily to being ignored. They could pick a passive-aggressive route, or they just might be outright hostile. You might see the anger and the rage. And another point that I want to tie into this is you might see how frantic a narcissist becomes when you decide to go silent. Narcs pick up on your patterns. Even if it seems like they're paying very little attention to you, and they probably are, they still know how you operate most of the time. If you go from chatting, calling, texting, hanging out, and then out of nowhere it kind of dwindles, a narcissist will immediately get nervous. And in some instances, you'll get a flurry of messages or calls. And again, this can range from asking you what's wrong to just being mean. You might have even experienced this. You might have gone silent for whatever reason, and here come all the messages. Are you okay? What's wrong? You're so quiet. Why are you ignoring me? What did I do? I didn't do anything. Talk to me. What's going on? How are you? Fine, don't talk to me. I don't care. I knew you'd act like a baby. The franticness will be apparent, and it will become very clear how insecure they are, and what you've done has clearly gotten under their skin. Dealing with narcissistic abuse can be incredibly challenging, and traditional therapy might not always suit your needs. That's why I offer a flexible phone chat service tailored to fit your busy lifestyle. You'll connect with someone who genuinely understands what you're going through. My service is relaxed, affordable, and creates a very supportive environment that feels like a conversation between friends more than a formal, cold therapy session. We'll share experiences as fellow survivors, and I can provide practical tips designed for you. With an empathetic approach, I'll validate your experiences, and I'm always a listening ear that every survivor needs. If you have any questions or you would like to learn more, don't hesitate to reach out. All the ways to reach out to me are available on the screen for you now. I'm a phone call away and ready to support you on your path to healing. Number 4, they play the victim. When you go silent on a narcissist, they can be very hurt by this and use it as a prime opportunity to guilt you and shame you and act like you've just done something extremely horrific to them. This route can be particularly useful to them if you're attempting to go no contact or if they feel that you're attempting to go no contact. This is how a relationship with a narcissist needs to end, with you going no contact. But because it's very sudden most of the time, the narc will take full advantage and make this the perfect time to tell you that you're being mean, you're being cruel, you're not giving them a chance. They remind you that they would never treat you like this. They would never do this to you, even though they totally would, by the way. And this can make a lot of people second guess themselves and make them feel like they're doing something wrong. Ending communication, especially without much warning, is not fun for anybody to do, and it can absolutely feel mean. But it's vital to remember you don't owe anybody anything. You don't owe somebody that you're with an explanation. You just really don't. Also, keep in mind, if this person would have even been somewhat reasonable or respectful towards you or could act like an adult, you would have a conversation with them and you wouldn't be where you are right now. You cannot do this with a narcissist. You cannot have a closing conversation. The only reasons why they ever want to talk is to lure you back into the relationship for another round of abuse. Never feel bad about no contact. If they are hurt about it, if they are upset about it, then maybe they should have treated you like a human being with some decency. Silence sends the strongest message possible, and not just to narcissists either, to everyone. It is a wonderful way of saying you do not meet my expectations, and you are not somebody I want in my life, and it allows you to say it with the fewest possible words. But with that being said, this leads right into number 5, they hoover. Again, their feeble attempt to suck you back in for another round of the same nonsense. Hoovers can actually range, and I need to point out that not all hoovers are done just to try to get you back into a relationship. A narcissist can hoover you out of boredom. The new supply is already lame, boring, or gone, or maybe all of those, and they need to bark up your tree to see how you respond and to see what's going on. They can hoover just to be cruel. You get a text that says, "Hi, baby, I miss you so much and I love you," followed immediately by, "Oops, sorry, that wasn't meant for you. That was meant for my new amazing partner." Hoovers can also be promises to change and contain a lot of future faking. It could just be them testing the waters to see if an official hoover might be possible somewhere down the road. Remain silent. Hoovers are desperate. Number 6, they gaslight. A narcissist might attempt to distort how you're seeing the relationship. This will include telling you that you're misunderstanding things, and they're going to question your reasoning for being silent. They might tell you that they're really trying, but you're not seeing it. You're not appreciating it. You're not getting the point. And this can add guilt to the confusion that they are trying to cause. Number 7, they completely reassess. The narcissist might take a moment and regroup. Seeing what they're doing maybe isn't working, they could plot and scheme and come up with something new to hit you with. This is quite common, and a lot of folks see it when they have to gray rock a narcissist. The narc's typical approach doesn't work, and you'll find they lay low for a minute, and then they hit you with something they've never tried before. They might always have a nasty demeanor and a nasty reaction to you being silent or not paying attention to them. And then randomly out of nowhere, you get a little dose of niceness, and it's very off-putting. They might decide to pull a crisis hoover to get at your heartstrings. They might try something like, "Oh, hey, you left something at my house," when you really didn't, but now they suddenly seem concerned about you or about your property. And this is all being done so that they can see what else will work. All the narcissist is looking for is how they can regain control, how they can reassess, figure out the situation, and do what they need to do to have the power and control back into their corner. They will run down every plan they can in a lot of cases to the point of exhaustion. Number 8, they move on. After a while, you might be met with some mutual silence as the narcissist counts their losses and decides it's time to move on to a new source of supply. They'll still linger. Sometimes they'll keep an eye on you, maybe over social media, but they're looking around for something else, or they're recoiling and licking their wounds. Some narcissists will even look very adult and say things like, "I know you need time, so I'll give you some space." And they will still be looking for new sources in those moments, but they will plan to hoover at some point. It's important to understand all of these behaviors as you learn about narcissism and how people with this disorder react. Silence is the best thing that you can do for yourself, but it is definitely not an easy thing to do. So when you went silent, which of these did you experience and how did you handle it? Are you maybe still talking to them and you're concerned about going silent because you're not sure which of these things here on my list you might have to deal with? Share that with me down in the comments. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, survivor, and take care of yourself.